is Oji's favorite day of the week, which is Friday. And here she is with stories trending around the world. Good morning,
to
Oji.
you viewers. Let's begin what's trending today. With the nation reacting to the multiple surprise Christmas Day strikes launched in what has been described as a joint operation between the United States and Nigeria against the Islamic State in the northwestern state of Sokoto. The attack was announced in a series of messages, statements, and videos released overnight from both governments on Thursday, which began with a post from U.S. President Donald Trump on his Truth Social profile, in which he stated that the attack came at his direction as Commander-in-Chief. And I'll read Trump's statement. He wrote, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes, as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorists to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continue." And this was a very powerful message from Donald Trump yesterday. We were all sleeping when this message came out. Well, here is a footage from the operation showing what officials describe as a divisive strike against the terror group on Christmas night. Well, U.S. authorities have warned that further strikes will follow if the violence against Christians continues. But, this message was, gathered a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of Nigerians, didn't really understand whether or not the strike came at the order of the U.S. president, like he has written, or as a joint operation, which we have seen from the Nigerian government. And I'll take this tweet from Characteristics, who wrote, "I am almost convinced that the response from Nigeria's foreign affairs was an afterthought. Clearly, the United States cannot be restrained from eliminating notorious terrorists. President Trump's statement did not suggest that the operation was carried out in collaboration with the Nigerian government. His words were explicit. At my direction as Commander-in-Chief, not in partnership with Nigeria. Let's even assume, without conceding, that the Nigerian government was aware of the operation. Why then did the statement not come directly from the president himself, using the same authoritative language? At my directive as Commander-in-Chief. I be president, they sleep. Sleep where he no sleep when INEC declare him president at 3 a.m. I strongly doubt that the Nigerian government was aware of the timing of the targeted strike. The public should not be deceived by after-the-fact statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What we are witnessing looks more like reactive diplomacy than proactive security leadership." And I'm reading this tweet because this is the minds of a lot of Nigerians who rightly believe that this might not be a joint, attack. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth confirmed the launch in a post on X, thanking the Nigerian government for cooperating with the United States on the attack. And here is Pete's tweet. He wrote, "The president was clear last month. The killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere must end. At the Department of War is always ready. So ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for Nigerian government support and cooperation. Merry Christmas." Even AFCOM released a statement, and I'll read that. They wrote, "At the direction of the President of the United States and Secretary of War, and in coordination with Nigerian authorities, U.S. Africa Command conducted strikes against ISIS terrorists in Nigeria on December 25th, 2025 in Sokoto State. Another confirmation there. Also, the Nigerian military has also confirmed conducting the precision strikes against ISIS elements in northwest Nigeria. In a statement released today, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samilia Uba, said the operation was a joint effort between the armed forces of Nigeria and the United States, adding that the strikes were approved by federal government authorities and followed credible intelligence aimed at degrading the terrorist group's capability. Well, in this same statement, the Nigerian Army reiterated its commitment to restoring peace and security across Nigeria. And I'll take this final tweet, a reaction that, gladdened my heart. Lucky wrote on X, "Yes, this is good news. Reports confirm U.S. airstrikes against ISIS elements in Sokoto State carried out in coordination with Nigeria." Beyond the headlines, this is a strong statement against terrorism and a reminder that global security is interconnected. For a nation bruised by insurgency, banditry, and bloodshed, disrupting extremist networks is no small win. If peace is the greatest gift any country can receive, then degrading terror cells that prey on innocent lives may be one of the most meaningful gifts Nigeria gets this season. Security first, everything else follows. Finally, on ground in Jabo village of Sokoto State, a new video showing the debris from the aftermath of the missile launch on the terrorists has made the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
We just want to if there is something please let us see if there is something here. Wait, see the
thing. That's the actual thing that is happening in Jabo town now. And so we're gonna bomb go into Nigeria, the house.
All right, that's a reaction on ground. The villagers have said that there was no casualty in this incident. However, this video highlights the human impact of these attacks and how ordinary citizens often have to deal with the consequences of the aftermath. And I'll take one final post on X. This person wrote, "Why bomb northwest Nigeria on Christmas, claiming to protect Christians, when experts say most killings there are from bandits fighting over land and resources, killing way more Muslims?" And that's another rhetoric that we have to deal with this whole intervention.
Very important for information management and ensuring that only the fact is what is being, shared at this point in time, because we've seen a number of responses to these attacks. The first thing is that the first fact on ground is that it was a joint operation. Yes, you might criticize or not like the way in which the information was shared or the timing or who shared information first, as I've just seen the PDP statement on these attacks, whereby I thought it was quite good to say that when it comes to joint operations like this, Nigeria ought to take the lead, or at least share that responsibility to ensure that we're not hearing about what's happening on our own soil by a foreign party, even if it's the United States of America. So you can take that feedback away. But consistently, whether it's from the military, Director of Defense Information, or from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it is clear that Nigeria worked with the United States by providing credible intelligence and by approving the airstrikes before it happened. That's a statement on ground. That's what happened. It's important to put that out there. Now, I think it's also very dangerous to try to put a slant to it, so that, it's Christian. There's terrorism. And when we talk about terrorism, it makes sense, or the sensible thing to note is that it's not only where they operate that their cells are located. You can operate in the northeast and have cells in the northwest. And what we had said was that this was done after weeks of intelligence gathering, and so a response was done with regards to the first airstrikes. It has been said that this is the first potentially the first of a number of airstrikes if we do have issues around this instance. So I think it's important to put those facts out there. Another thing to mention that's important is that when we talk about the region most affected by terrorism and acts of terrorism, it's the northern region. And so the most important things on the mind of the people should be this: how does this affect us? Would this be finally a light at the end of this long tunnel of insecurity that we have had to endure for at least 15 years? And if that is the case, then all hands should be on deck to support the efforts of the Nigerian government to finally decimate the terrorists. The only other thing to then talk about is the number of casualties in terms of collateral damage. Yes, this is a thing because in the past we've seen where Nigerian Air Force strikes themselves, whether in Zamfara earlier this year or last year in the same Sokoto on Christmas Day, had in a few some civilian casualties. Every single Nigerian life matters. So what they're saying is that the reason why they keep using the word precision is that it was precise to attack the terrorists themselves with as minimum as possible, civilian collateral damage. This is the fact on ground currently. The most important thing, Oji, is that finally we see a seriousness and a deliberateness to destroy and decimate terrorism and terrorists in Nigeria. Right. That is what the Nigerian people should be celebrating this morning.
I'm also getting reports from, Bayo Ononuga, he reposted the Foreign Ministry's statement about the joint efforts, but I think that he alluded to the fact that the attack also occurred in Zamfara State, Rufai. I don't believe I greeted you all this morning. Good morning to both of you.
Business.
Yes, we're here to work. How are you this morning? Rufai on fire.
Oji. So he alluded to the fact that it also happened in Zamfara State, in Sokoto State. And see, the attack has just even sent shockwaves everywhere around the northern part of the country this morning. Let's not deny that fact. What do we want? We want an end to terrorism, right? So why are we complaining about the first step? Because this is decisive. I mean, for the very first time, we talked about the fact that America didn't give us weapons due to the Leahy laws. Anyway, they sold Super Tucanos to us once Trump came in the first time. We talked about the fact that we might not have capacity to be able to fight these
stringent constitutions.
For the use
of the
Super Tucano. Okay, but it was during Buhari's time that Super Tucano finally came in.
Yeah, but
the process has started.
Government
got so Buhari finally got that
initial process.
Secondly, we talk about the fact that we can't do this alone, that we need expertise from America, isn't it? Didn't we all argue across board that we need expertise? In fact, we also argued about boots on the ground, because I'm just trying to chronicle the conversation we had leading up to this. That's okay, maybe America can't put boots on the ground and everything. So why, when America probably